Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War with the Imperial Destroyer mod. So, as I said, I was gonna do this extra episode featuring this huge Prussian army where I, instead of as you guys have seen, split off this battle into 3 battles where I took on the 30,000 Prussians. This one, I'm able to take them on all at once. However, of course, this battle will crash. So it's gonna be a race against time and a little bit of a bonus, and we'll see how this goes. So without further ado, let's go straight into the battle, shall we? And so here we are on the field of battle. It's a very nice flat field of battle. I was actually very disappointed I wasn't actually able to fight this battle properly and put it in the campaign since it crashed. Just because it's such a nice flat map and there's lots of walls and stuff you can hide behind. I really liked this terrain. With that said, let's go ahead and go into my plan for the battle. So, the enemy spawns really close to us, unusually close. You can see it's very, very short distance. If I deploy the howitzer at the edge, I'll reach about here, so right in among and fire into the enemy. However, I want to move it even further so I can reach even further, possibly even up here to the edge of this village. The enemy is going to deploy somewhere along the line up here, so they're not going to deploy all the way up here, I don't think. But my plan is to advance the line infantry up to a point where we kind of, not really within musket range, but close to it. And I'm gonna tilt my line, so I'm gonna tilt it like so. And having all my army do that, I'm hoping that the enemy responds and does the same. As they do that, I'll move in my heavy cavalry, possibly pinning, taking out enemy heavy cavalry and pinning their flank a bit. This will give me time to send out the grenadiers. They will be stationed like in column like this. So they will be, if we imagine the line going through here, then the column of grenadiers will be back here. As I pin the enemy's flank, the grenadiers will come out, draw a line here, and then push forwards at the same time as I push forward the front line. And we will hopefully defeat the first army here really quickly. There's a few units to be on the lookout for, which is the Prussian, what they're called? The Prussian Grenadiers, Guard Grenadiers. It's a really tough unit that will be somewhere in here, and then also all the bloody dragoons, because the Germans for some reason or the Prussians really like their dragoons. With that said, let's go ahead and see if I can actually accomplish this plan. What we'll do is we'll actually go ahead and select all of these guys and group them for ease of access, and also so they actually hold this formation. What I will do is, as we get closer, I'll drag the infantry lines out. We don't want them these thick with 4 ranks or whatever. Right, rain is gone. Let's go ahead and start. We're gonna start by moving up the howitzers up into this, which is kind of a defensive position given the walls surrounding the area. And then we're gonna move the lines forward here, and we're gonna hold this tilt. And hopefully the enemy will tilt with us. They have deployed around a few walls here, but I think that they will probably start to move to counter us. I do have the guards up on the hill just in case to send in, and then we've got the hussars if enemy cavalry decides to attack on this flank, which will be a little bit weaker since I'm not placing that many men there. Let's see. We're not going to start our attack though until the howitzers are in place. So I'm going to draw the line now. We're going to draw it like this. We're going to drag it out to about 3 man deep. And we're going to drag it out all the way, real far up north. And the grenadiers will be stationed right behind here. Now obviously this wouldn't really be possible if the enemy had a lot of artillery and stuff, because that would murder my grenadiers. Okay, the howitzers are in place and they have a reach just around up to the village, so we'll be able to cover most of the Prussian line. You can see that they've kind of, as they draw the line, they've kind of turned it to match us, but they haven't really drawn it the same. So they're still having these guys a bit further back. They are pushing out some militia units for some reason. I want to take a look and see if I can. What are we bombarding? The enemy cannon. That's not really necessary. Let's see if we can break this one instead. And I want to hold fire with these guys. Wait till the militia comes a bit closer. Okay, the militia stops. Now break them. And a few howitzer shots. Splintering the unit. A few more howitzer shots. We're actually coming in contact with the enemy on the wall, and we've got enemy bloody dragoons coming in. But I'm not in the mood to form a square in front of enemies behind the wall. There's no movement on the right. Oh yes, there is. There is heavy cavalry. I want to avoid the hussars shooting each other. Oh, look how perfect that ended up. They stopped just ahead of each other. Pushing in both hussars should be enough. The militia was forced back. Let's see if we can target these guys with the howitzers. Let's see, they not really want to push out from their defensive positions in the forest and stuff over here. So maybe, well, if I force these guys out at some point here, what I can do is I can start tilting this line even further towards here. So the dragoons of Frederick the Great was killed off, which means that they have no mobility on this side, or the cavalry is gone on this side, which means I can push my cavalry up here. There's a lot of enemy infantry coming this way though, so we're gonna focus the artillery on the units actually out in the open rather than the guy. Oh, they're actually leaving their position now, and the line is kind of as I want it. Let's prepare to ride forwards and shoot these guys as they're pulling back. And right now my plan is not really coming together, but hopefully at some point here it will. So they're not even really formed up, so the AI is clearly cheating here. They're not even formed up and they're able to fire at my men, killing loads of hussars. This militia unit is gonna get absolutely wrecked once these guys actually decide to fire. Oh, it's even destroyed beforehand. Let's have the hussars go through there, and then the howitzers, I don't know, I kind of want to just see if maybe I can select someone on the ground. They're about to get reinforcements, which is mostly gonna be cavalry and shit, I imagine. So let's start turning the line, if I can, to get like a wider angle here. Okay, the Hussars have done their job in breaking up this part. I think it's best just to send this smaller unit away. You know what though? I mean, I have nothing to lose since we're not gonna... I mean, the battle is not gonna be significant to my campaign. Let's go ahead and deploy my plan on this side. So we're gonna move all of it at this point to go ahead and conduct that. My line infantry on this side is doing well. Plus the Hussars are keeping the enemy sort of off balance is the word I'm looking for. We're losing quite a few men though as well, so I want the howitzers to conduct fire on the unit that is returning fire. I'm gonna send in all the heavy cavalry. Why don't you all go for that one, and then we'll see about getting that other one. And oh, look at that, the Prussians are doing some kind of charge. It's a pickets charge, but the Prussian charge. We haven't actually seen where the guard unit is. Oh, there, 2nd Foot Guard Grenadiers. I think this is the unit I was talking about. Really dangerous unit. Oh, look at that. Oh, everything going in towards there. Center is kind of weak, but they're holding. Can't believe they have it. My heavy cavalry weren't able to just swarm right through this unit. Oh, it was just a general, then I don't need to stop my advance. All that heavy cavalry. Bypass this, go directly for this one. Did I get the yeah, I got the infantry there as well. Infantry, move towards the flank while you will hold from the front. And these two will follow after. And we got this massive cavalry charge going in. Howitzers will hold fire. We've got the guard grenadiers right there. They're gonna be attacked from our grenadiers from the flank, and then from the line infantry in the front. So they're gonna have a bad time. And since I'm sending the cavalry more or less around them, I can actually focus in my artillery on them. So the guard's not gonna have a good time, but they are most likely going to be able to do a lot of damage to me. So my line infantry over here was attacked by more of these stupid dragoons, but suddenly the dragoons, they basically shot down. There were about 50 enemy dragoons retreating, more or less cut down by their own men. Right. Form square, and then to protect, they can't actually fire that far. So I put one grenadier in the flank. Seemed to have cost him quite a lot because he's down to about 200 men. And the guys in the front have lost quite a bit as well. Let's see if we can get you guys to get in on the flank even further, and then get the 3rd grenadier in around there, and then the 4th grenadier up even further. Right, I guess they're sensing now. They're about to get squeezed, attacked by all sides. Tell the howitzers to hold fire. I should have set it on unlimited, but this way I also kind of get an idea that when the crash will occur, since it will occur roughly at the 1 hour mark. I'm not entirely sure. I was speculating as well that it possibly could be some kind of weird unit that would be turning up on the battlefield, and once that one turns up, and it always kind of turned up at the 1 hour mark, that would be the cause of the crash. So we got dragoons of Frederick the Great charging my grenadiers. Not very nice, but I've got 3 grenadier units coming in to support, so we'll be able to shoot off the enemies on the side. Heavy cavalry, go ahead and charge, get rid of that slimy line infantry, and then if the grenadiers will hold towards the enemy coming from over there, then the line infantry will prepare against the enemy coming from over here. Now, given that I've advanced so far as I have, I think we need to move these guys, the howitzers, generals and so forth. I'm also getting some reinforcement here, so we got 1 heavy cavalry unit. We'll send it over to the grenadiers. Okay, so the grenadier unit that was caught in square lost a lot of men. But the grenadiers will continue to advance and hold kind of here. So we are ready to fire on the open ground right here. I want to move. Let's see, where do I have the howitzers? All the way back here. Just in front of the village, so we can fire both towards this direction and this direction, where enemies are coming in. The heavy cavalry sweeping around on the battlefield. The little square. The square will be dropped, moved over here, and then formed again, because right now it's kind of in the way of this regiment. We don't want them to shoot each other. The line infantry actually needs to be drawn out further, and maybe not the best idea to put the smaller line infantry units on the flank. But we'll do something like that. Heavy cavalry at this point will retire behind the line. So we got the dragoons. Dragoons, of course, can outshoot, which I think is a strange mechanic that they, a strange setup that they outshoot line infantry. Because since they would be carrying carbines, shorter barrels and so forth, I don't think they would be able to outrange the musket infantry. Secondary general, we'll send him off immediately, so we don't have to, so we get a proper unit to support. Most of what turns up here is lots of cavalry, all the fancy dragoons and shit. We still, there's quite a few infantry units turning up as well. But I don't want to let loose the life guard just yet. They're not actually that good at taking on enemy cavalry. Neither is the line infantry units. Looks as though the enemy is sending all the troops to gather their army over here. Right, now this one is firing from the flank, which we do not like, but it's kind of covered there because of the trees and whatnot. We're gonna have some problem until I'm ready to set up the the howitzers. I'm gonna move the heavy cavalry over to this flank and let's try to sweep something around there, especially against the enemy cavalry. So we got the guard infantry. If the howitzer is going to be there, then guard infantry be back here and the general be back here. So the grenadiers are not really in an optimal position right here. They could move in to kind of cut the reinforcements off there, but seemingly the enemy is all moving over here, and I don't think that it doesn't look as though there's going to come any more. So we're going to move the line like so and ready to sweep it kind of through town. Oh, there's a lot of enemies coming there. Form square. Okay, the heavy cavalry is definitely needed at this point, given that there's so many Prussians coming down this way, and the howitzers desperately needed over in this area. And we're gonna have to push forwards the reserve units, the guard units, start opening fire towards the enemy and get the howitzers bombarding this shit. Okay, so the enemy first guard light battalion is attacking. Grenadier units pull back a bit, while the heavy cavalry just covers you while you reform. Squares holding, the howitzers blasting away at the dragoons. Okay, so the enemy is completely just sending everyone forwards. Didn't I have a fourth unit? Ah, fourth unit died. Or did disappear. So a great attack here by the Prussians, and it looks as though they're gonna be able to completely swarm and crush my front line. But since I have two lines, I will be able to save the front line. We've got extra line infantry coming in to help plug the gap on this side. Looks like the enemy's attack is actually falling apart. But so is my front line as well. Not the best idea to put the guard units behind my howitzers. I shot quite a few of my of the howitzer crews. Come on, howitzers. Get started. Get firing. They are firing. The grenadiers are holding their position, but I don't think they'll be able to hold. So we'll fall back towards more defendable positions. Got bloody dragoons turning up. Not very nice. You don't need to be in square anymore. And then we'll make sure the line is nice and straight towards the enemy units that are coming forwards. Right, you will be put on the far right flank to support over there. The grenadiers have retreated to a better position. It's going to be difficult for this one to hold out against what's coming, so I'll have them situated right behind the wall. Okay, so the enemy here we're kind of beaten, so we're gonna go ahead and focus the howitzer shots on the left flank to see if we can break that. Heavy cavalry at this point broken down. See if maybe I got extra grenadier and more line infantry. We'll go ahead, and since we've got lots of enemies here, there is where I need more reinforcements. I think these guys will hold. See if you can pull back behind the wall there. Have these guys fall behind the wall as well. And then this one going a little bit on tilt towards the enemy. It's light battalions and stuff, so lifeguard units. So it's going to take quite a lot to try to blow them out of there. Let's actually focus on the dragoons. There will be fire from a longer range to see if we can break them. Force them out of the village. This unit is taking quite a bit of a beating. Why aren't you... Oh! Had I told you not to fire? Right, with these guys retreating, I'll redraw the line a bit, and I'll tell these guys to fall back, since these guys got the drop on them, and they're absolutely murdering that line. Okay, so the dragoons they were dealt with. Deal with these dragoons. The first line battalion is still there. My unit on the farthest flank there fell back. I've got these guys. Can see if they can possibly do an upset towards this unit. Come really close in their arse and shoot them. And then you will... Not really good firing back and forth through the forest, but... Right, howitzers, I want you to blast that unit. We're gonna see the grenadiers coming up close. The enemy is turning around! Quick movement by the enemy. Where they basically just swing around and start shooting at us. Stupid AI. Cheating. Right. Tell the howitzers to blast that dragoon unit. We'll actually split it because this one is firing for the Queen's infantry. They are getting fired by these guys. There is no problem here, so let's push the Queens forward so they can fire. This one's completely falling apart. So this guy, the 68th, has done a real good job against us. And let's see if we can hide these guys more or less behind the wall. Both these units are about to give way. I do have these two coming up, Grenadier and Line Infantry. Let's put them further back. And as these guys move forward to flank this, we'll push forward the other two units to destroy them. Right. Let's see. This one's destroyed. Now we need to focus in on this. Queen's infantry will move back a bit. And we'll reorganize this. I think I can do that, given the... we've got the village to protect his flank. I've got more units though. Yes. General and line infantry. Where are these cavalry? Ah, we got 3 cavalry units, 3 heavy cavalry units coming in to join us. Place them in the center since I don't really have good spots. So yeah, this guy's firing in towards the flank here. And there's lots of walls and stuff, so it's mostly covered. We're able to break this one just by howitzer. Quite a bit of enemy cavalry. Could actually send my heavy cavalry over to this side and deal with them. And then we have this line infantry. Can go ahead and join the grenadiers. Howitzers, I want you continuously to chase down with good fire. Okay, so the enemy was able to turn and fire here before, and the grenadiers lost about 100 men before by just shuffling around before deciding they were going to fire. Oh, a head-on charge right into the the Queen's infantry. And not only that, after they've gone through the Queen's infantry, they went for my artillery. Right, we do not like that. And I do not like them attacking the Queen's infantry like that. And we kind of need support in the center now. These guys need to come back. The Life Guard. Get behind the wall. And the Queen's infantry will pull back as well. These guys not doing too well, so the line infantry will take the place and grenadiers will come up on the flank. Okay, so the Queen's infantry were not able to get back to the wall, and I don't think the Prussians will win against the guard infantry though, but I guess they're just trying to hold us. Just trying to hold. So that they can push further into there. Life Guard was just sent away. I don't like this situation because right now is not looking too good for my howitzers. And I'm caught here without reserves to protect my howitzers. Ooh, there's a charge coming in towards my... what is this? My grenadiers? Line infantry? Oh, the Queen's is holding. Shit. We're getting outflanked here. Where's my heavy cavalry? Heavy cavalry, I will need you in the center. Grenadiers forward. Line infantry forwards. Actually, the grenadiers. Thin line looking that way. Big line looking this way. My howitzers still are in place and firing. The Queen's infantry is still holding. But it seems as I overextended myself. Heavy cavalry, I want you to push right through here. If you can. And go into this. Oh, that square just took a shot from the dragoons. Right, my most forward position here has completely collapsed. We need to pull back. The Queen's infantry. I'm sorry, but there's very little I can do here since the enemy is coming on way too hard right now. I have very few units, actual units fighting right now. So the Queen's held and then there was only 39 men left, and now they're falling back. Good fighting by them. But yeah, the front line was completely collapsed. I've got 2 fresh units though. I guess we'll draw them along this line, along these walls, and prepare for a possible attack by the enemy. Or whatever they're going to do. Let's just send one of them into the house. Should actually possibly send the grenadiers. We'll put a little small grenadier unit right there. So I've got more line infantry coming in to aid me, which is good. And these guys are back, and we've got fresh unit coming in. Should be a good protective place here to fire upon the enemy. There's a lot of shitty Prussian dragoons everywhere. don't like this position out here, where we're kind of isolated from the rest of the army. So I want to focus a few more units over here. And you know what? Let's draw the line along this wall. So the army kind of collapsed, or the front line collapsed, but we've lost ground. We're regaining confidence, and we're holding ground at this point. Ooh, this unit was caught by Dragoon charge. I don't know how the enemy got so many Dragoons, or why they... well, I can understand why they recruited, but because clearly it's effective to have just tons of cavalry spam. But I imagine it would be kind of expensive. Let's see, if you please, go ahead and fire on the enemy. There we go. Oh, this is gonna be good. And then the small unit can be sent to the flank. And then this one that just turned up can also be sent to the flank. And this unit was not really able to properly penetrate, I don't think. So if we're lucky, this one's going to start shooting in a second now into the Dragoons. And that's definitely going to break them up. Stupid bloody enemy Dragoons. Massive amount of Dragoons retreating on this place. Got a few Dragoons moving around here. With that, I can move infantry over to this position, flank weak militia, and then my front line can start moving forwards once all these stupid Dragoons are done for. These two units can move forward. And yes, right straight in front of this unit. And its stupid provincial hussar. I don't think usually they don't do too well against squares. The hussars don't have that, they don't pack that kind of punch for their charges. Let's gain some ground here, as the enemy is reshuffling its forces, and while they're doing that, they're kind of weak, and we can see we've got lots of line infantry coming in here. So doing that L shape once more. I'm not going to worry about these 42. Because I can stop the grenadiers to run away. I was hoping I could use those to shoot these guys down. Let's have the general go in, he can charge them. Now that opened up a big gap because we had put stupid grenadiers there. We can put this guy over there instead. And then we can tilt this because that's not a good angle to fire at. Have the general charge these guys, and then the big units can actually go ahead and do that, and we'll keep this one back here just in case those stupid grenadiers tries something similar, and we'll have these guys right about there. The enemy was sent away. It clearly became a problem here because now we got two holes in the front line because of those small shitty units. That was part of the advance. But look at how I've kind of forced the enemy into a rather silly position right there. Where we'll be able to concentrate our fire on them right there. This unit is not doing too hot, but given the fact that this one was just moved in, means that this one repositioned itself. This one's not doing too hot. Both these actually. Pull back, and then we'll put this one on the flank. Ah, you're all broken? Where are you going, Prussia? Got more reinforcements coming up from over there. Oh, the infantry! Your infantry have been defeated, Prussia. What's going on? And now when these guys are broke, you can push forwards. We can put more fire down on these guys. Looks like we've got a lot of enemy reinforcements coming in here. So we'll redraw the lines. Anchoring with the village. And then along this wall. We'll push these 3 units as reinforcements. These 2 will go over here. And right now, since the fighting is being conducted over here, here is where I'll focus my attention. Militia unit is about to be defeated. We're gonna pull back since this one got the drop on this one. But I think I'll be able to break these 2 before this one does too much over on this side. And then I'll be able to swing and kill it off. And also we've got an extra unit coming in here. We can actually replace this one. We've got 1 unit coming in back. I sent 2 over here, so the other one will prepare to deal with this one, which you will already do. Well, you will turn up and you will back off. And yes, running into positions. Enemy units over there. Let's put these guys more towards flank to protect that, and this guy a bit further back so he doesn't shoot our own men. I want you to fill the gap right there, be able to deal damage over here, and then you fill the gap over there. Good fire being laid down over here, good fire being laid down over here, but I want you to fix the gap there. And one Itzenblitzen has turned up on the battlefield. But they're not actually helping the 7th Regiment of Foot. We're doing good. However, the enemy is not pushing up any more units to protect this guy, so we can push even further. And I think, given the fact that they haven't moved that far, could be a lot of artillery and stuff. So militia unit, and then they've deployed the artillery. 12-pounder units, field artillery regiment. So that's kind of, I guess, some kind of special unit. And then the dragoons, they don't even really want to enter the field of battle. And looking at this, line is good. These guys though need to become straight line. And now not even that, now these 3 will move up into the flank of this one. These guys holding, this idiot moving right in front of their fire. I've got reserves in case line breaks. It's Blitzen. It's laying down fire on my boys over there. We'll go ahead and attack him, and a bit risky, but we'll send these two right over there, even before I've defeated the Blitzen people. Which advances a bit. They gain ground as they see tons of Swedish troops advancing towards them. So we're gonna have these two open up kind of on the flank towards the Blitzens. And they decide to fire on this unit for some reason. If they had continued to fire on this one, they could actually kind of have broken it. Ooh, nasty over there. We're gonna retreat, which they did even before that. A lot of these units are weakened now. What do we have there? Militia. We haven't defeated the Blitzen yet, though. I'm not entirely sure how many more reinforcement units I will get. So at some point here we'll run out of troops. What's this? The Von Regiment Forcade de Bion, or I don't know how you pronounce that. Since they're not doing anything, we're gonna move straight up right in front of them. Why are they pushing everything over there? Bloody idiots. Right, hold. Quickly. Okay, right, you're not going to be able to. Look at these guys. What kind of a massacre will this be? They lose about half the manpower and off they go. Right, with that, reform the line and try to protect the square. Hopefully I'll be able to... Yes, they're gonna ignore me and go for the square instead, which is good. But I really need these guys to open fire. Okay, these are not gonna do well in the current formation. Same with this. We'll have to retreat and form new lines. Units are spent. Right, I don't think that was actually a good push because there was so much cavalry. I didn't realize maybe really how much. What? Oh, they're not even firing at the bloody right enemy units. No wonder. They were putting one shot here and there towards the bloody cannons. So they weren't even firing right into this shit. And now when they actually are... Damn it. Right, let's focus something over here. Move forwards to the wall. You as well. And you will hold along the wall here towards the flank. Interesting here is the militia focusing on this unit and not on the troops coming through the forest that are a hell of a lot closer to them. Oh, they're even gonna continue moving forwards, and this one hasn't fired yet. Oh, they decided to they were gonna sit on the wall. Whoever gave that order should get fired. Shitty dragoons coming in. There isn't that much over on this side, but I'm losing units because I haven't focused in on this. You two like that. And as the enemy pushes forward, you two move forwards. And then he refocuses. We can smash them there. Oh, and there we go. The crash. It happened a bit earlier this time around though. Still, this was the extra bonus battle showing off the against 30,000. So I imagine at 45 minutes, and given what kind of reinforcements turned up, I'd probably have defeated, sent away, killed, whatever you want to say, half their army. So that was just about half of it. Because the previous battles I played, I got down to the best result, and that was when I actually ended the battle prematurely by pressing escape, and then I got 16,000. So I don't think I got the full 16,000, but I was close. Given the fact that it ended even earlier, so at 45, it could be that it was some kind of reinforcement unit that turned in, and that would be the crash rather than the fact that it's the amount of units that was on the field. So that's annoying, but there we have it, the bonus episode. Hopefully you guys enjoy this, and hopefully I'll see you guys for whatever campaign I do next. Right, bye.